Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be using this very simple AK-74U. And this is an actual AK-74U because the one you see usually is the AKS-74U due to its compact barrel. Let's get into it. Okay, so this is a very simple build. First, we're just going to switch out the stock for the CRH Customs fixed AK triangle. And then we're going to change the muzzle to a AKS-74U, and then we'll change the charging handle to the TSS Custom. And then, well, that's actually about it for most of the changes. With this gun, I use 49 grain red tracers. However, it's also good to use FMJs. I only use 49 grain because I need lower recoil, not low, but lower recoil, so that using the iron sights is less painful. And besides, it doesn't really seem to affect performance as much, so you can probably use this and have fun.
Good luck out there.
See, it doesn't kick as much, which is very good. I mean, the recoil system is still bad. We're not in 0.24 yet, but this is significantly less bad. I recommend that you try to test out plinking at longer ranges. This can do that very well. So, what are my thoughts on the AK-74 that I've been making and using? Well, if I'm being honest, there's not really much thought. It's pretty much a stock AK-74. The stock really doesn't do much, and the muzzle device, to some people, it's actually worse than the default muzzle device. So, yeah, great job, Reggie. You made something that is completely pointless in making, because all it has is a skeletonized stock as opposed to the wooden stock that the AK uses. However, this just shows that even sometimes, even if you're not necessarily in shape, like you're not in your at your most skilled like I am right now, you can still do pretty well even with a pretty crappy gun build. Not to say that this thing is crap. Every stock, almost every gun stock will do very well. Like even the M4, just remove the sight on that and you've got a pretty good close range. If you want long range, don't change it at all. Same with the HK. Same with almost literally every gun in the game. Maybe except the pistols, but the pistols, if you can do well with those, then you're pretty much John Wick. This was pretty refreshing because the recoil actually made sense, kind of, because this actually kicked pretty hard, was pretty angry, but at the same time, it hit hard. It hit like the AKM for some reason. Things are weird right now. The AKM is hitting like the Scar H, and the AK-74 is hitting like the AKM. I don't know how it happens, but this thing just seems to one-tap people. Maybe it's changing the muzzle so that I can actually see what I'm aiming at. For some reason, when I use the default muzzle, I really can't seem to focus my sight onto whatever I'm aiming at. Don't know if this is just a placebo or a side effect of me using M4 style iron sights for a very long time, but it is how it is, and I like using this new muzzle device. It's also the wrong muzzle device because this should actually be on the AKS-74, which is going to be added in 0.24. However, it doesn't change the fact that it's actually still pretty good, if I'm being honest. So if you're really low on cash, like something like you bought this gun for what, $15,000, and you have less than 2,000 left to make a build, this is probably where you should start. You're not gonna do very well with it because it's a stock AK. In this game, AKs suck ass for some reason, but yeah, this is still better than the Glock 20, so better than using that. Yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a good one.